This episode is brought to you by Earth Mama Organics. Founded by a nurse and herbalist, Earth Mama makes clean, safe, and effective herbal solutions for the entire journey of motherhood, from pregnancy and breastfeeding to baby care, and even the loss of a baby. Earth Mama's certified organic formulations help mamas and their babies across the globe by marrying generations of women's wisdom and traditional herbal medicine with modern evidence-based approach. Hello. Welcome to episode 183 of the Sisters in Loss podcast. Happy New Year 2021. We are kicking off the new year discussing fibroids. Do you know what fibroids are? Do you know anyone who has had fibroids, or do you have them yourself? Do you know that you can get pregnant and sustain a pregnancy with fibroids? Fibroids are non-cancerous growths in the uterus that can develop during a woman's childbearing years. Treatments include from medications to removal of the fibroid, and studies show that African American women suffer fibroids 2 to 3 times more than white women, and Black women tend to experience fibroids at a younger age and often more severely than their white counterparts. It is estimated that Black women will suffer from fibroids by the age of 25, and 80% of them will have fibroids by the age of 50, compared to 70% for white females. Because Black women suffer fibroids at an earlier age, they are also 2 to 3 times more likely to undergo surgery to remove those fibroids. Today's guest was featured back in episode 31 of the podcast, sharing her journey through miscarriages, a stillbirth, and a rainbow baby pregnancy with fibroids. Keanna Barnes updates us in this episode on her journey to parenthood. And since that episode, she's since had another baby girl, her golden baby. A golden baby is a baby that's born after a rainbow baby. So in this episode, Keanna takes us back on her journey through suffering miscarriages, a stillbirth, getting pregnant with her golden berry, and pregnancy with fibroids. Her book, Journey to Peace, 31-day devotional through the grief of miscarriage, stillbirth, and other pregnancy loss, is a go-to guide in the Sisters in Loss community for those who have experienced fibroids and loss. This episode is for you to listen to if you have had fibroids, had a miscarriage, or had a stillbirth. This episode is for you to listen to if you want to know what a pregnancy after loss with fibroids entails. Listen to today's episode. Welcome, Keanna Barnes.
How are you? I hear the baby in the background. Yes, I'm good. She is, 6 weeks? Oh my, it's almost been 2 years since we've done an interview last time. Yeah, so we can pick up where you left off. You were pregnant when we did the first episode.
Yes, I was pregnant when we did the first episode. So my daughter, Grace, she is 2, going on 22, of course. She is amazing, smart. That pregnancy was difficult because that was my first pregnancy after my loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not wanting to say anything, not knowing the outcome, because I feel like the first pregnancy I was naive. Think you get pregnant, you have your baby, you know. So just the fear of the unknown kept me really, I guess, coveted about this pregnancy, my second pregnancy.
Absolutely.
So I went through the entire pregnancy, and a lot of my friends who lived in different areas didn't even know I was pregnant the whole time. So it was just filled with anxiety, but I didn't want to let it consume me and overwhelm me to where it really affected me. And knowing that I was pregnant, I didn't want it to affect my baby at all, in a way, so to speak. That was pretty interesting. And with that pregnancy, it was a pretty healthy pregnancy. I had her just a week early because as a high-risk patient now, and advanced maternal age to a point where I was going bi-weekly to appointment to have stress tests done, non-stress tests done. And at one of those appointments, that's when I was on the monitors. They were monitoring her heartbeat, and I was having like the Braxton Hicks contractions. And then as soon as I was about to release me so I can go home, my baby's heart rate dropped. And you could hear it on the monitor. It just dropped. And that's when the nurses start moving fast and calmly. But you know something is wrong, especially when you've been through a traumatic pregnancy before. That's when I knew. I was like, okay, something is wrong. They're moving too fast. They start getting on the phone. And that's when I freaked out. So what happened with that was my doctor said, we need to send you to the hospital because I was only a week from my due date. So because her heart rate kept dropping with mild contractions, they tried to induce me, and still she couldn't really handle the contractions. I ended up having to go in for a C-section, which was another unexpected detour to my own birth plans, I suppose. And I also had a doula. So it just really kind of threw me for a loop. But the main focus of this pregnancy was to have a healthy baby. A healthy baby, healthy mom, everybody come out okay. You know, she was a healthy baby. Her name is Grace. It was just by God's grace I was able to try again, and that He allowed me to, you know, just keep the faith, and we kept on to the end goal of having a healthy baby. And I was blessed with a beautiful daughter.
Yes. So for you all who are listening, definitely go back and listen to episode 31, where she details her previous loss, her stillbirth, and then her battle with fibroids. And then she also chronicles it all in her book. You definitely want to go back and listen to that. Obviously, you know, God has blessed you abundantly. You don't only have a rainbow baby, now you have a golden baby. So tell us about that journey, getting pregnant, you know, trying to conceive, and then having this golden baby, the second rainbow after loss.
Yes, the golden baby, the golden child. She is a delight. You know, like you said, conceiving and trying to conceive after loss, even the second conception, I suppose, is still not easy. I still had these doubts in my mind that tried to come back up and resurface. There were times where, even though the pregnancy was, out of the 3 pregnancies I've had, this was thankfully the smoothest pregnancy. There were times when I would get into my head and get into my thoughts to where I was like, I think God is going to bless us with another baby, but what if He doesn't? What's going to happen? You know, and it just really kind of got me down. And my daughter, she was due July 31st, and we actually were blessed to be able to find a home and purchase a home. And while we were actually in escrow, that's when I found out that I was pregnant. So we were like, okay, this is crazy. So then once we actually purchased a home, maybe 3 months later of us moving in, pandemic hit. So that means everybody's plans are derailed for who knows how long. And being pregnant in a pandemic, a global pandemic, is pretty scary. Thankfully, I've had my previous baby, so I knew how, you know, the hospital systems worked before, but this time it was so different with my husband couldn't accompany me to my doctor's appointments. It was only one person. That was the mother of the baby that was to come in and have the ultrasounds done and have the prenatal appointment. Still as a high risk patient, I still went in for my appointment. Some people were able to do virtual appointments, but I still went in for my appointments. I still had my ultrasound, and thank God I had a healthy pregnancy. So, but it was still scary nonetheless. I mean, I was not leaving my house without my mask. I had gloves on, so anytime I had to go to the doctor's office, I make sure I handle everything with my gloves. So it was just really scary. And, you know, one blessing in it is that you don't have to tell people, like, you know what, you know, no kissing the baby, no touching the baby, because nobody's kissing or touching or holding or doing anything right now. So that is one blessing. But just being pregnant in the pandemic is nerve-wracking, to say the least, because you read about mothers. You're trying to figure out, nobody knows if mothers are affected, how mothers are affected, how babies are affected, you know, if it can be passed on, if you have it. Even the hospital experience, when we went, and it was different for different hospitals, but when we went to the hospital, I had to get tested for coronavirus. Thankfully, everything was negative. But yeah, we had to get tested for coronavirus. I couldn't have my support system in. I only had my husband in. My mother, thankfully, was able to come out and help with my daughter, my 2-year-old, so that we could enjoy bringing in our second daughter into the world. But it's definitely been an anxiety-driven pregnancy. Even though it was the smoothest, it was still marked with, you know, what if. But God is faithful. He's shown He is faithful. I was blessed with my daughter. She was born maybe a couple of weeks before her due date. kind of the same thing. Her heart was not really responding well to mild contractions. So we opted to see if she could. We were like, look, we'd rather have a healthy baby. We took the risk, and I had another C-section, which wasn't in my plans, but hey, I was happy to have a healthy baby and to be healthy. God is definitely blessed on all aspects.
Absolutely. And I think that I'm happy that you said that, even though it didn't go as planned, that, you view it in the positive that, your baby is here, your baby's happy, your baby's healthy, you're healthy, through all of the anxiety of having a baby during the pandemic. So tell us, how is life now? 6 weeks later after you've had a baby, now you still got to go back to the doctors for your own appointments, for her appointment. I mean, has it gotten better as far as being out and about and just your anxiety and your level that you have going on?
For me, because I'm still so protective of my baby's health, both of my children's health, of course, anxiety for me hasn't gone down. A lot of people have gotten a little lax with the coronavirus, even though it hasn't been declared that it's gone. So we still have to go, one at a time to my doctor's appointments, which I have one coming up. And with her doctor's appointments, it was even scary trying to go on for that, we have to go in and we have to check our temperatures, and it's just so different. It's just a different world we live in right now. But even though, and we haven't done much of, leaving the house, and it's chaotic trying to keep a toddler in the house with a newborn. So my heart is full. My hands are full and my heart is full. I'm definitely blessed with my daughters, definitely feeling a little like overwhelmed at times, but overwhelmed in a good way, not like, because I'm so thankful for what God has done in my life. And it's still, at the end of the day, you still have to be a mom. It's still like, okay, I have to take some safe self-care. I have to step away and let me just take a shower. Let me just breathe for a second, because there's a lot of people vying for my attention right now. But I know these moments are fleeting and they're few. So, like I said, being through what we've been through is just such a blessing.
This episode is brought to you by Earth Mama Organics. Founded by a nurse and herbalist, Earth Mama makes clean, safe, and effective herbal solutions for the entire journey of motherhood, including pregnancy, breastfeeding, and baby care, including the loss of a baby. Trusted by doctors, midwives, neonatal intensive care units, lactation consultants, and mamas worldwide, Earth Mama's products marry generations of women's wisdom and traditional herbal remedies with modern evidence-based research. The result? Soothing support for mamas and their babies in the form of certified organic herbal tea, soaps, balms, lotions, and sprays. Think everything from first non-GMO product verified nipple cream to truly clean eczema cream to teas that help with milk production or milk reduction. Want to get some for yourself? Listeners can save now on their first purchase at earthmama.com with code SistersInLoss. That is earthmama.com with code SistersInLoss. Hey, sis. I am interrupting this episode from a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Sisters in Loss Training Institute. Our premier full-spectrum doula training course is now open for registration. Join us for 8 weeks of live virtual training to become a birth, bereavement, and postpartum doula. Do you have becoming a doula on your vision board and part of your 2021 goals? Join us weekly as we deep dive into birth, bereavement, and postpartum techniques to support clients virtually or in person through fertility, pregnancy, labor, loss, and postpartum. For the Sisters in Loss listeners, you get a 35% off discount to this doula course. Use the code 35OFF at bereavementdoulatraining.com to gain access and register for the training. Payment plans are available by using the discount code 35OFF at bereavementdoulatraining.com. We are excited for you to become a birth, bereavement, and postpartum doula in 2021.
Yes, it sure is. I would love for you to share with our listeners just what has kept you motivated to keep trying. You know, I think that when we battle loss and then, you know, some form of infertility, that it's hard to stay encouraged on this journey. So for our listeners, can you give them some words of encouragement to just keep trying and going after their goal?
I honestly feel like if it's something that's on your heart to become a mother, I think you should definitely not give up hope. I mean, that's one thing that we have. That's one thing we have. That's one thing that God has given us is hope. So we have to really hang on. One thing that helped me was to not only, of course, stay in prayer and have a good support system in the form of my husband, my family members, and also friends who I can just talk to, and they can be, you know, not judgmental, but they can listen. They can cry with me when I got discouraged. There are moments, of course, when I was discouraged and didn't know how things were going to go. They reminded me of God's faithfulness. Also, journaling helped me a lot. Whenever I got discouraged, I would journal as far as writing down things that I'm grateful for, which is so many things that I'm grateful for. And not only writing down what I'm grateful for, writing down affirmations of what is to come. Daily, I wrote down, I'm thanking God for another healthy baby. Thanking God for our baby. I'm thanking God for Him expanding our family and our hearts and our lives. So journaling definitely helped. Journaling, taking a walk, a support system, a good support system, definitely prayer. My church family, it all helped because it's not easy trying again. It's not easy trying again, but if it's on your heart, it may not look the way you thought it was going to look. I know my pregnancy definitely did not look like a pandemic pregnancy. It didn't look like another C-section in my mind, but God is faithful and I have a healthy baby and I thank God for that. One thing that helped me was to keep my mind open to what God had in store. Because even though my goal was to have a VBAC for my third pregnancy, I was open to what He had in store for my life and my baby and my future and our future. And that helped me with, I guess, mourning my idealized birth for my child and knowing that my child is here and knowing what's important. At the end of the day, I have my beautiful baby.
Amen. Share about your book, you know, for those listeners, because we got a lot of new listeners, and I think that it would encourage a lot of listeners who have gone through stillbirth, who have gone through, and who have or are living with uterine fibroids to really get some encouragement on their journey. So can you say a little bit about your book and then where they can find it?
Yes, definitely. My book is Journey to Peace. It's actually a devotional. It's 31 devotions through the grief of miscarriage, stillbirth, or other pregnancy loss. And the book just was really written when I was in the thick of, you know, recently had lost my baby, and it was really helpful for me to dive into God's Word. And that's what it is. It's 31 devotions, 31 days you can go through, and it just takes you through a journey to peace. Of course, it's a journey, so it's not an end all to peace, but it's just taking you through, trying to soothe you through, understanding that you're not alone. No two situations, no two pregnancies, even with the same person, are alike. Even they may be similar, but they're not alike. Just knowing that you're not alone. So you can find the book. The book can be found on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, find it on the internet. You can find my website at yourpeacejourney.com, and definitely check it out. Bless you. Bless you. Definitely check it out and let me know what you think.
Yes, absolutely. So I would love for you to drop your socials. And can anybody, can they connect with you after this episode?
Yes, definitely. I love to hear from people. I love to hear from other moms who have gone through similar situations. We're here to uplift each other, to reach out to, hey, just talking about the situation is a form of self-care. I've found. So definitely reach out. You can look at my website, yourpeacejourney.com. You can also check me out. I spend a lot of time on Instagram. It's K Barnes. That's KBARNESRE. That's where you can find my Instagram. So that's basically the main place where you can find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Keanna, for being on the podcast again and sharing about your pregnancy during COVID-19, pregnancy and delivery during COVID-19, and your rainbow and golden babies. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. There are so many ways to connect with the Sisters in Loss community. Join our monthly support group, our Sisters in Loss Healing Collective at sistersinlosshealing.com. Join our free Facebook group at sistersinloss.com/community, or text sisters to 797979 to download your free Journal to Healing ebook. That is sisters to 797979 to download your free Journal to Healing ebook. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sisters in Loss, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah, girl, we on YouTube at Sisters in Loss TV. We love you for listening. Keep the faith. Until next time, this is Erica, and I'll talk to you soon.